Hello everyone, welcome to the optical fiber communication lecture series. In the last lecture, we have studied different advantages of the optical fiber. In that advantages or history of attenuation, in that we have seen the different windows like 1550 nanometer, 1300 nanometer and 850 nanometer windows we have seen. In that windows, we have to work and which is very good for us, that is 1550 nanometer window, and we have seen the advantages of the 1550 nanometer window for most of the applications. So we have seen the advantages very deeply in the last lecture. What are the advantages? Like just I will give the short brief about these advantages. Ultra high bandwidth, as we know that bandwidth is very high in the form of a gigahertz. Then we have seen some low loss 0.2 dB, how it was converted from 3 to 4 dB to the 0.2 dB. Low EMI electromagnetic interference, that we have seen how electromagnetic interference we have reduced. Security of a transmission, so how was the security of transmission, so that we have studied. Low manufacturing cost, so manufacturing cost is very less compared to the technology. Low weight, low volume, and point-to-point communication is important in this section. Now today we will go for the characteristics of the light, and that is very important part, characteristics of the light. So before going to the characteristics of the light, we have to go through the basics of the communication, optical communication. We know the light is an electromagnetic radiation. We also know that in the high school we have studied light as a rays. So we could establish laws like Snell's law, laws of the reflection, treating light as a rays, and then also know that the light could be treated like photons. So we have seen that with light we have to treat as a light can be converted into the photon. So photon will be travel through the air, that is called as a light. So in fact you have to deal with the light depending upon the content any of the three models. So what we do in this course, first we establish some of the basic things about the light in the terms of a ray model. So first we treat light as a ray, and then when we find that the ray model of a light is a inadequate for the explaining the some phenomenon, then the uh, default well higher level of a model, which is a wave model, where the light in an electromagnetic wave, and those the situation where the find through the model cannot explain the phenomena like in interaction of the light with a matter, then we go to the model which is a quantum model, where the light will be treated like a photon. So we will go through the ray model and wave model by watching these characteristics of the ray model and the wave model. If we will satisfy, then we will go for a quantum model where will be a photon will be the main primary importance. We have a importance in that. So in this course, essentially this started with array model, then we will go to the wave model, and finally we will go for a quantum model. So let us now ask that if a light source is a given to us, that a wave light source can be characterized, and especially from the communication point of view, what are the its implications? So firstly, all of us know that the light source can be characterized by what is called the intensity of light. Right? While intensity of light is the power per unit solid angle. So for a given power of light is confined to a very narrow beam where the solid angle is uh, where the solid angle is very small, then the source of light will appear brighten, so that there will be a one of the parameter which essentially tells me how focused the light is so far given for a given power. If the light goes into a very wide angle like a normal bulb, then it will not appear as a bright as it is as it the laser. So we can see when the distance comes to the picture, the light intensity will goes and decreases. So it would appear even the power of the laser is a very small, but the power comes in a very narrow cone. So laser light appear much brighter compared to the light which is we get from a simple tube light. So that one say that of the characteristic parameter of the light, second parameter which is light is the wavelength, or in the common terminology, the common terminology which can be covered as a color. So window of the optical communication is 1300 nanometer to over 1550 nanometer, the visible range of a light. So we have seen that 1300 and 1550 nanometer is a visible range of light is somewhere here which is 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. So that means that glass which is used to be a transparent to the human eye, it is only really full transparent. All the optical visible wavelength, in fact it is much more transparent in the wavelength, so which are lying into the infrared region, which are 1300 nanometer or 1550 nanometer. So see, the operation is not now confirmed to the visible range of light. The color does not have any sense, but still we can use the same notion of color to characterize the light. So we say that second parameter which is important for optical communication is the color of the light, or the wavelength, or and this quantity we can say, let us say some lambda depending upon the loss. So I will say this is lambda. So wavelength of the color we use as a lambda. Some lambda depending upon the loss performance, we can choose lambda either in the 1300 nanometer or 1550 nanometer. So the choice of a wavelength has a direct varying on the low performance loss performance of your particular communication system. The second parameter which we have down is the which is related to the spectrum of a light, is what is called as a spectral width. So third parameter we are now going to study the purity of the color, that is spectral width. So we will see some spectral width. So let me denote the quantity as processed delta lambda. So it is wavelength range, or it is ambition takes place. So we can say that the spectral width is something like purity of the color. So the wavelength is representing a color, and the spectral width represents purity. The color, so if I have very spectral I have very wide spectral range, let us say visible range goes from the suppose it will go from the blue to the red. I will get the light which will look like white light. If I reduce the bandwidth to a similar region, let us say around red, then I will get a very sharp red color. If I put a wavelength around yellow, I will get a sharp yellow color. If I move the wavelength around blue, I will get a sharp blue color. So reduce the wavelength essentially increases the purity of the color. So we find now it is a spectral width which in terms of normal human vision is the purity of the color is important parameter. Uh, well, later on the we'll see that the directly related the data rates which you can transfer. Similarly, the value of the lambda higher with the bandwidth of the communication system, or higher the data rate which you can transmit on the optical fiber. So the choice of the wavelength has a bearing on the signal to noise ratio or less, and the purity of the color of the spectral width has a direct bearing on the bandwidth of your optical system. So these two parameters are extremely important parameters for the optical communication. Of course, these three parameters, the intensity, the wavelength, and the spectral width of the light sources, treat like as a energy source. Nowhere the wave nature of light comes into the picture. So you have an energy source which is going to certain path. You find out at what regular zone the power is confined, which is related to intensity. What color of light has it gives the wavelength, and what is the purity of the color it gives a spectral width. However, when it talks about the propagation of light inside the optical fiber, the light cannot be simply treated like an energy source. If it has a treated like a electromagnetic wave, if you use electromagnetic wave, then it at least if the medium is very large, we treat the light as a transverse electromagnetic wave, that is TEM waves, that you might be studied in the microwave engineering. What that means is that if I consider the light energy source, and let us say that light is moving something in the direction, the light is a transport electromagnetic, that means that it has an electric and magnetic field, like that it is. So I will show you how we can go through that. So I will show here, and we have seen in the electromagnetic engineering also. Suppose this is E bar and this is H bar. So what is the third direction? So third direction will be the direction of propagation, which is in the direction of, suppose this is we can say this is Y, this is X, and this is Z. So X and Z are the H bar and E bar, they are perpendicular to each other. And third direction will be your direction of propagation. So that is the way you can travel into the direction of Y. So the electric field and magnetic field and the direction of light or on the way, they are perpendicular to each other. And if I put my fingers going from E to H, there my thumb point to the direction which is the wave direction. So it is medium which is having a size much larger compared to the wavelength of the light. The light can be treated like a transport electromagnetic wave, and then the E and H are also related through the medium parameters. So you have the quantity E and H magnitude, that is equal to a quantity called eta. So you can see, I will show you. So you must have studied this in the E bar divided by H bar is equal to eta. So that you have studied into the electromagnetic engineering. So called eta, which is the intrinsic impedance of the medium, and which is given by the square root of permeability of the medium divided by the permittivity. So you have seen that permeability and the permittivity of the medium. So the effect of electric field and magnetic fields are related through the medium parameters. So we know that is eta is equal to mu divided by epsilon. So that you must have studied. So now on the basis of that we have to see the polarization of the waves, like we have studied into the figure that linear, circular and elliptical and random polarization. So you might be have studied in the different electromagnetic engineering or in the antenna you have studied the polarization. So as I showed you that showed about that polarization. So when we have started this so again I am drawing it E H and this is the time of propagation. So when we stretch this E bar, that is E bar and H bar, that will be basic is elliptical polarization. So consider that is the elliptical polarization. So basically it is converted first upon into the elliptical polarization. Then that elliptical polarization, when we stretch further the elliptical polarization, which will convert into the linear polarization. I suppose in the next lecture I will show you. So just this is the linear polarization. It is single straight line it will be look like, and what about the circular polarization? It will look like a circular in the nature. So it will be look like in a circular polarization. So this is a circular and this is elliptical. So elliptical is a basic polarization, and from that elliptical polarization it will convert into the linear polarization and the circular polarization. So this is again E bar and this is H bar and this is T. So by that way you can convert that elliptical and the elliptical polarization into the different polarization techniques. So that is the way the polarization we have to study, and we have to use that polarization into the different ray of light. So uh, most in the optical fiber we are using, that is spherical coordinate system. In the spherical coordinate system that we have to use is like, suppose here is the point and here is the these are the rays that we have studied into the antenna. So rays will be go far away from the point of the source. This is the point of the source. Suppose this is LED or uh, LED or laser, and this is the these are the sources, and the waves will be travel far away. So it will look like a this phase front will look like a this is phase front. This is your space front. So this space front is looks very spherical in the that angular nature for a small distance. When it will be go for a, suppose I am watching at this point, so it will be look like a straight line. So these are the rays will be travel like a straight line at this rays, it will be look like some angle, but thousands of kilometer, at the thousands of kilometer, these rays will look like a straight line. So that is the phenomenon of the light transmission. So at the starting point, it will look like a spherical in system, but after some time it will be go like a straight line. So that phenomenon we are using into the optical fiber. In the optical fiber, in the core, that the lines will be look like a planar in nature. So this is a planar front. And now this planar front, how it will look when we go to the optical fiber, that we are going to the next, when we go for a ray model. So when we go for this ray model, that time we will see what will happen when the light will go to the longer distance. We will see about the different sources like RD and laser. Then we will find out the difference between the RD and laser, and whose wavelength is good, if its beam width is good, that we will study in that point. So for today's lecture we will stop here. In the next lecture we will see some wave functions. So if you have any problem or any doubt, you can call me or you can message me on the you can put into the chat box. So thank you for the today's lecture.